the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Anra, oh my Ghana, Auntie Nsem-Pii, Nina, and say Ghana, the former first lady, Jemame Nana Konadu Ajimai Rawlings. Had ye say Nyankopon etroninsa ede efre no na edien ena esi pote ankasa Nyankopon etroninsa ede efre mami mechire de course so oyare anase bibia ensi na ofie na ofuri mu anase ede na enra ene tese mami eho dodono kakra ena yepeja no ede no ekokopie mu ewo hospital Mechire Rich Hospital say mami nko nenka onkoje ayarehwe nanso bamwo etimi edenensa eto ne so at the age of 76 na Samuel Koku Anyidoho etimi amaye background kakra na de yenko tie
Yanti Asemde, I mean, former First Lady of the Republic, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings, or Dayawa, I'm sorry. That should have come to you as a shocking news, Meboa.
Well, good morning and thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, well, a shocking news actually. A shocking news by all standards, yes. Shocking news.
But yeah, of course, I mean say one family no na we are very close. Also why national officer for the NDC I suspect only we Juma closely. A day now okay efanana konedo home pacho.
Well, Obi, first of all, amamrem kwanso yam fa busia yako otumfo etune na hene ebusia penye obaye ono no di ani manrana ye ne I was say nyina nti ye bema ebusia yako yama nkola no yako ezoneto asantewa aminani kimati Niama my money nyina yako so yeah Obi yes what do I remember? You know, as I got very close to President Rawlings before he passed almost 5 years ago, yeah, Madam, let me find a Madam. Yes, you been Kita Hudi Sh0cks on the 25th of March this year. It's International Women's Day. So I did an article. I just decided that, look, let me eulogize Madam for International Women's Day, especially this year, 2025, and mark it the 30th year of the UN conference in Beijing. Sh0cks for women's empowerment worldwide. And the role that the 31st December Women's Movement played. You know, so I did the article. It was published in the Daily Graphic and many other portals carried same. And I remember sending her the link because we used to chat a lot. And Koku, God bless you for remembering me and remembering the role that I played or I was able to play. It looks like some people have forgotten. But God bless you, Koku, for remembering me and for remembering leaders who have served this nation within your time. You too, one day, people will remember you and honor you. And so, Obi, for me, yesterday afternoon, around 1:15, when I got wind of it, luckily, can I say luckily? So, incidentally, I happened to be around the Ridge neighborhood. So, it wasn't difficult for me to just hit I went first to the 31st office.
Okay.
No BNU, of course. Then I went to President Rawlings' office at Reach, and I found my brother Kobna Ando. And then the family was there, so we were able to then put heads together. Things happened. Subsequently, the media was addressed. And so for me, I remember her from the perspective of the article that I wrote. And what was the article about? It was International Women's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Anamekai. So growing up in 79, in Bema camp as a boy, schoolboy, subsequently 31st December Women's Movement. Now, we share your educational system from the days of Nkrumah up to today. We've had various forms of free education. Every sixth form was on government bursary. Kwame Nkrumah had a scholarship scheme. Other people have their scholarship schemes. President Akufo-Addo came free education. But if you look at Madam 31st December Women's Movement and what they brought at the base of childcare, and it's a 31st Women's Daycare Centers, markets, very accessible to it was also called Edja Anopa for Banoko 2 Daycare Center. No quality care, very quality care that was given to children, and I'm sure today if they gather as 31st December babies, normal say Jama Independence Square, we need about 4, 5, 6 and so on. And so if you look at as a mother of that time, where she brought that empathic mother care from, that's very significant. So beyond the Beijing, all the glitz and glamour of the world, what she started here locally. Then I remember the crusade. Send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school.
Mm-hmm.
Those days it was only GBC.
Yeah.
And that's all we could hear. Send your girl child to school. The crusade was going on. In Chennai, yes, speech and prize giving day, law school, University of Ghana. They see managed prices in
Sure.
There was an era in this country. First lady being in a dumb. A share that a push the agenda, a PR the agenda of sending the girls to school. Then female genital mutilation, FGM. I have a friend, Fatu Balde, a Gambian friend. We work together within the ECOWAS sub-region on a number of issues. Today, she's a doyen in the Gambia worldwide because she is now fighting FGM, which is still a major issue in the Gambia. But if you think back now, Nana Koneduni 31st December women, a year, how many decades ago, to make it a crime for our little sisters to go through that kind of body mutilation. Very significant. Traditional birth attendants, TDAs, school classroom but one at a point in time when the 31st December Women's Movement decided to up their skills, and specifically in rural areas, using lanterns, gas lights, and candles to midwife people, those women were given training, given certificates, just to boost what it is or it was that they were doing. If you come by the fireside, Mamidokunu GTV, the use of folklore, so the folkloric aspect of nation building and helping the children understand that you come from a unique space called Ghana, and within the Ghanaian folkloric space, this is what you can learn out of it. Obi, yesterday as I sat in the house, and I just said, God, so why? I now understand why you made me eulogize Nana Konedu in March. For her to appreciate it during her lifetime. And yes, then as I'm talking to you, but at least today, with honor, with humility, and with subtle pride, I can say that I eulogized Nana Konedu not 20 years ago, this year, 2025, and she's passing. Incidentally and interestingly, she was born on November 17th. So November 17th this year, she would have been 77.
Wow.
But only 5 years ago, I buried my daughter on November 17th.
Ah.
Yeah, she passed on the 7th of November. Rawlings himself passed on the 12th of November. And I buried my beautiful young daughter on the 17th of November. So, as we say, c'est la vie. May her gentle Nana Konedu's soul rest in peace with all our human imperfections, as I am imperfect, as you are imperfect. But if you put it in perspective and the constructive nature, look, even 31st, in terms of national security, Obi,
yes,
all across the country, those women in the villages, or Tony Pito, or Tony Nsem-Pii, or Yeni Millet, or Yeni Koku, or Yeni Kose, are the kind of orientation that they got through the 31st December Women's Movement made them an integral part of the national security setup. So you go to that Pito joint and you are drinking and you are talking by heart against the system.
You don't know who is.
You go to the Pawine. You don't go to the Pawine base. Born out there. Oh, say baby nyaku ameye. Oh, masa. Ochina bini ebedwa. Oh, baby information. If you go and send ebedwa. It kept. Look, from a sociologically, functionalist perspective, it kept society intact. And so that's Nana Konedu for you. And as it is, unless history changes drastically, she's going to end up as the longest ever serving First Lady of the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah.
And nobody will take it away from her, yeah.
And probably the most impactful.
Well, impactful, yeah, because of the length of stay. But otherwise, if you take it from those of us who are believers, if you take it from the ministry of Jesus Christ, 3 years ministry, which still remains the most impactful since human existence. So, yes, for now, from the multifaceted angles I've come from, yeah, she's been very impactful.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe there's somebody who will come another beyond us who will only do 4 years, 8 years, and be more impactful. So, yes, for now, I agree that she was very impactful, yes.
But from the unimne the okay, not to say the 31st December Women's Movement, no, was not just an amalgamation of women group across the country. A critical tool. Over the 19 years, no, right? It was an extremely essential wing of the governance structure. I mean, like I'm saying, growing up in Burma camp. So, Auntie Sisi, as we used to call her, Mrs. Cecilia Johnson, may her soul rest in peace. Yes. She's also, as it were, resting in the morgue. She also passed about a month ago. So, and Auntie Sisi and my late mother in Burma camp. So, what at that time, because Auntie Sisi herself was a Burma camp woman, her husband, the late Colonel Johnson. So they had what they call the Armed Forces Wives Association, AFWA. So my mother and Auntie Sisi and co were part of the AFWA. Then when you extend it to the 31st, which was nationwide, look, Obi, these women really, really, really dug it in for the nation. And for those of us who saw what they did, yes, so 31st was not just a talk shop. It was not just an amalgamation of women, but it was women who were empowered to understand that role that they had to play in society beyond childbirth, beyond being
procreation beyond just going to the market. No, you are an integral part of nation building, and let nobody devalue your role as nation builders. And I think that's the spirit that 31st breathed into the system. Wow. You know, yesterday somebody asked me, so what happened to 31st after we crossed over into democracy? That's where, you know, the transition, you know, and maybe the quick desire to walk away from everything that was NDC. Maybe today, with hindsight, if the NDC had held on to some of those structures, maybe, just maybe, the political party would be where we all wish that it would have been. You know, because you go into the places and some of those 31st buildings are just lying idle. It's like they have become an anathema. And nobody wants to touch.
Koku, even at least in the early 90s up to the late 90s, no, 31st was still vibrant, Anna.
Yeah, but early 90s, yeah, late 80s into late 90s, Bekonedu was still very much there. Post 90, yeah, so 92, yes, into 2000, yeah, but after 2000, 2001,
after 2000, moment.
So yes, so we brought it along, yeah. So honestly, but I'm saying that beyond than what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and that is where also it will be, you know, we must be able to keep institutions beyond personalities. So when you see Koku Anyidoho, you hear Koku Anyidoho, I mean, when I eulogize President Mills and I eulogize President Rawlings, today it's yes. We are here, and I say, yeah, we are here. Expiry date but there a America too and a baton and a baton two mecano. Obi the jai will be the jai will be the jai will be.
Yes.
And to one of my bet 2 or more and I year Jumebino. And yes, I'm going to say, you real for Mosa. And I didn't say, yeah. And yet you say, and yet, Baku for you. It is always important. Say, yeah, Kono, near Chichi Domno de Co, Chichi Domno de Co, Chichi Domno de Co. And 31st, the Omoye and the Omoyebi. And like I'm saying, the Nakopon says, a fee, March, the a damn moving, trust idea, and there's also a graphic online now. Ubemu Troy, did in one dance here. I will lose who yet a damas, and Sana, and Nakopon after every Atiasi for assassins. Mammy, Madame, Obeyebi, and the Trogana Bakosema.
Mate.
What it woman crack. And then Kakredi Beka.
Very well. Koku, my nase, Bibiania, Yebesia Babidin Komobio. Why?
I said, I said, I'm the Obi. Have a blessed weekend.
Very well. Koku Anyidoho.